good call.
So I think the main one I want to start off with is like, what kinds of brands or businesses do you think Gorgias would be good for? And you could either answer this as like Gorgias as a whole or Gorgias Automate.
Gorgias is great for any Shopify brand and outside of that as well, but Gorgias has been the best tool that I've seen personally for all Shopify brands because it integrates with literally everything that integrates with Shopify. So I've seen, brands try to make custom solutions because they're not maybe aware of, these one-click options. And I would say anyone who's on Shopify, and even probably outside of that too, really, anyone who has a Gmail account who has too many emails can be on Gorgias.
Another one, and this, like, I recognize you have like several teams here, but if you had to choose one team or kind of think about them with like a blanket statement there, how has Gorgias impacted your CX team?
Okay. Gorgias, I've worked with lots of different teams and companies, and so Gorgias has impacted all of them. And one of the biggest, kind of case studies that I've seen for Gorgias is switching from a different platform that maybe doesn't have all of the features of Gorgias and seeing how it can impact the brand as far as every click matters, every agent's efficiency matters. And so every single click and convenience of Gorgias really, really matters, or, any help desk. Everything that you can make as efficient as possible can keep you as a lean, mean team as from the start and create that good foundation. But also, if you're struggling to keep up, my first thing is to honestly not hire more people. You'll need to hire more people to keep up sometimes, but as soon as you start to feel like you can't keep up with the inbox, I advise anyone to look at your efficiencies and see, are you using all of the efficiencies in your help desk? And Gorgias just has been able to show that efficiencies for the rules and the automations and even now the new AI. If you're more efficient, you can keep a leaner team. And that's what I've seen is like the biggest help from Gorgias.
What would you say to brands who are hesitant around AI? Yeah.
I would say if a brand is hesitant about AI, I would say definitely change your mindset, because AI isn't going to replace anyone. It's just going to free up our time so that we can utilize it better and work harder, or not work hard, work smarter rather than harder, and really just free up that time of those tickets that can be automated and helped by, and quicker even. You just want to change your mindset around it and see how you can utilize it as an agent, and then use your agents who, they don't need to be using their precious time on these tier 1 tickets. They can be using their time to help build a brand and create revenue and analyze insights and help the brand grow, because I always say the inbox is a gold mine, and so you have to utilize that gold mine, and the AI is actually allowing us more time to do that.
That's great. And should I be I feel like our main conversation, I would be like, yes, or making noises. Should I try not to? I would say early on in, you were talking about switching companies over to Gorgias. What do you think is a metric or a measure of success that you feel is the Gorgias is working, or it's worth it, or that makes them feel that way?
So it depends on team size and pain points of the company, because there's really simple metrics. If you have a large team and you're struggling with the foundation of customer satisfaction, CSAT, the way that you're able to utilize Gorgias and pick out all of those, poor CSATs with a large team, it is foundationally better than a lot of other help desks. And I've tried other help desks, if you know kind of thing, where the UI of it is just not up to speed with Gorgias. And one of the biggest pain points I've seen with teams is they don't know what they want because the team isn't as experienced and maybe they've never done it before. So when you're looking for a help desk, it's hard to pick because all you're looking at is price. So if you're looking at a help desk that seems to do the same thing and it's cheaper, it's like a no-brainer in, a founder's mind or someone who's not in CX or who hasn't ever done it, then you're going to go with the cheaper option if they say they can do the same things. So with other help desks, I give everyone a fair chance because it's not about the help desk that you're on, it's about what's best for the business. And so I've tried different help desks to get them to where I want it to be. And for Gorgias, for example, I'm able to get it to where I want to be and feel really confident and proud of my customer experience, where other platforms, Gorgias is just ahead of things and doing things right too. I see other platforms rush to release new features, but you can tell they don't take the time to make sure that they're correctly working. And maybe they don't even have that feedback because a lot of their users, if their thing is, I'll build anything for you, or they're talking to less experienced CX managers, they just don't know what is out there. And so I've seen a lot of times other help desks will release a feature and it's just not as great as when Gorgias releases it, because I've been on Gorgias for a while and I see that, for AI, for example, everyone was talking about AI a year ago and I knew Gorgias would catch up. But you kind of know, you don't know when it's going to happen, but I knew, that Gorgias was working on it and that Gorgias wasn't going to release an AI product until they were confident in it. So I kind of watched the AI space because I personally am not going to be like a test subject for something new unless it's like very, very it's audited super well. And so when I personally slowed down with the AI jump because I saw some other brands and it's just not working well. And so I honestly just waited until Gorgias released it. And I did poke around and see other options. And I have been in the beta for Gorgias for a little bit now. And again, it's just like anything, it's new. I'm in the beta. It's not perfect, but it is significantly better than the other options I've seen. So I'm really excited for Gorgias' AI.
I think the obvious lead-up question here is we are this Gorgias devotee. Why do you choose Gorgias? Year over year in your agency or in Audience or why Gorgias?
Yeah, Gorgias' UI for not only the manager but all the agents is very intuitive as long as you have it set up correctly. And I will say, as long as you have it set up correctly, because I've seen people struggle with Gorgias just because they might not have it set up correctly. So if you have the patience and the open mind to set it up correctly, it makes everything very simple, and it creates this confidence in your team of them understanding the priorities of the tickets that you get in. And not only that, but it also helps you be efficient, and it creates the rules that you're able to create and the data you're able to collect from the custom fields. You're able to not just answer tickets and be reactive, but you can be proactive by utilizing all of the features that Gorgias has and analyzing the data that's there, and then acting on you're able to take your team from doing what feels maybe right to data-backed decisions, because you've got all of this data and then you've got all of these automations and efficiencies. And I just haven't seen it done the same for other platforms. And I've been in quite a few, and again, I give them a chance, but Gorgias just seems to win overall. And actually, some companies might think that if you pick a cheaper option, you're saving that money. But I actually have seen companies lose a lot of money because it's not efficient. And when you're cutting corners and everything, or you're trying to save money here, and you're a new founder, you're building your team, you're hiring your first CX agent, you want to save money where you can. But then all of a sudden, a year or 2 years go by, and then you look in your inbox and you're like, oh no, what's happening? Or you see one bad review on the internet or in a social media comment, and then you go back and you're like, oh no, my help desk is a mess. And then it's like, what do I do now? And a lot of times taking that, digging into your help desk, and if you're not able to create these efficiencies and make it easy for your team, that's where it ends up. And it just is really, really messy and scary for founders. And I always like to say, if you can create the efficiencies and set up your team for success, it will take stress off of, senior leadership, founders, and it will protect your brand. And it's not somewhere where you want to skimp out, because it'll lose you a lot of money in the long run. And I've seen that happen like way too many times, where marketing spends so much money to acquire a customer to just be lost to a bad experience. And so I always encourage, just invest in your customer experience, no matter what it is that you have to do that, because if you create those efficiencies, if you create a good experience, then you can actually keep the customers that you spend so much time and effort and money to acquire. And without that, and if your inbox is a mess, if your inbox isn't organized and you don't have these flows and automations set up, it's hard to create that good customer experience, because unfortunately, you're kind of cutting corners.
Yeah. And then I'd say my last sort of case study question is AI making CX more or less human?
I would say that AI isn't making experience less human. It's just making things more efficient, because customers don't care if they're talking to a human. They just want their problem solved, and they want it solved as quick as possible. So the AI agent's going to be able to do that way quicker for hundreds of customers at the same time, where a human agent, there might be able to dig in a little bit deeper, which is, again, we're never going to lose that. But we want to be able to utilize our humans to dig into things that need to be dug into, instead of, can I be an influencer? And the AI agent says, yes, of course, here's where you apply. You don't need to use a human to do that. And the customer or that influencer doesn't necessarily want a human. They just want to know, how can I apply to be an influencer? So I wouldn't say AI is making things less human. It's just complementing our humans and allowing our humans to spend time on the customers who do need to talk to a human.